Well, hey guys and gals, Malkuth 1974 back at you with another tutorial in X4 Foundations. Today we're going to be covering how to use the map, or understanding the map if you're actually having a hard time understanding the map. But for starters, to get into the map, you actually have to hit the M key, which stands for map, or coincidentally, Malkuth. So there you go, the map. Kind of zoom out here, we got a whole nice map here. The other option is to actually hit enter. When you hit enter, you got these little icons up here, and the icon for the map is the little starry thing there. It looks like they're all connected. You hit that, and look at that, we're back in the map. So while we're actually still here on these icons, I might as well talk about these icons. The question mark covers the tutorials and the help section of X4. The tutorials are not that helpful, so you might want to stay away from them, but I guess if you like to suffer, you can use them. Encyclopedia coincidentally covers an encyclopedia of everything you found, and how the encyclopedia has worked in all X games since the beginning of time is that when you discover stuff, the entries are added to the encyclopedia, and then you're all happy. You can look at them. Even when you find stuff, sometimes they're not actually added, so the encyclopedia doesn't seem like it's a completely done thing anyway. So yeah, that's it. And well, that's what it is. The map, I already covered that. Ship interactions, that's basically like pushing the enter key. Still the same thing. If you're sitting near a seat, you can get up, you can get into different modes. The dock, all that stuff, that's all cool. The little men's bathroom icon here, that's player information. You have your icons here that you can change your ships to and all that wonderful stuff. And over here you have your empire overview and your global properties and all that awesome stuff. You got some more icons over here that we're not going to cover here. They're pretty self-explanatory, but maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, you got like your net worth in here, how much available cash you got, all your ships owned, your stations owned, all that awesome stuff. And then over here in options, you can do the continue game, new game, save game, load game, online features, extensions, settings, exit game, exit the desktop. And it tells you what version you are. Right now we're in version 1.30 beta. I'm in the beta. Yes, that's right. I took the plunge and went to the beta. All right, so let's go back to the map. So I'm going to zoom out all the way here, and this should all look familiar to you. This is what you get when you first open the map, even if you're just a little starter guy with a little PP guns. We'll cover the right side here. How's that? So we move over here. We have filter settings and we have legend. Obviously, the legend is pretty interesting. Actually, let me fix this here. There we go. Now we're about to go into legends. There's the legend. Legend is pretty self-explanatory. It's all the little icons that you actually have on the map, and they tell you what they represent and what they do. The other thing you have is actually the filter settings. This is the filter settings in here. If you click that, it gets rid of that. So if you're wondering how to get rid of that crappy little box, you can. So there you go, filter, filter. We move over a little bit. We have these little icons here. We'll cover this in a second, but right here you have the search key. The search key allows you to search for things. Like, say you want to look for Malkuth. You go like that. And look at that, it brings up all my ships that are just coincidentally named Malkuth Industries. So there you go, that is the search key, and you can get rid of that, and you know, you won't have to worry about it anymore. So let's just cover this whole box here. This is the filter box. The filter box pretty much represents this thing here, and also different icons and stuff like that in the filter. If we look right here, we have these 4 icons. The first one is the trade filters, which covers this little box right here, that annoying thing that probably annoys the hell out of you and you're wondering how to get rid of it. If you want to get rid of it, you just hit this little padlock and it goes away, by the way. But anyway, yeah, so that's trade. You have your think filter, which basically covers all your missions, all the different kinds of missions you have, all the icons you have. Right now we have, I have it set to none, but whatever, you can change the different alerts to them, how important they are, and all that awesome stuff. Next to that is the mining filters. Mining filters represent what you actually have for your resource beacons in there. And if you see me come in here, let me see if I can actually find one here. I did this before. Where are we? Do I actually have it on? I don't. No, not even over there. I don't even have it on. See, that doesn't help. Okay, so I have basically a resource probe right here, and it tells me the resources and all that awesome stuff. You can kind of shut that off if you don't want to see it for whatever reason. If you don't want to see it, it's not like it's the most annoying thing on the map, but yeah. So that's that. And next to that, we have other filters, which basically covers mission offers, station cargo, workforce, you know, all this stuff right here. The funny thing is, you got two buttons that seem to do almost the same thing, but this button right here will shut things off. So like I already have trade filter shut off. You go like that. Oh, look, that box comes back. So that box you want to get rid of, you can either hit that button or you can hit that button. It's kind of weird how that works, but whatever. The think filters are the same thing. You can kind of shut them off. And oh, so that's what that difference is. Okay, so the trade filter, this is just your primary trade filter shut off thing. This one will allow you to shut off all the other ones if I just wanted to get rid of all these things and then shut the trade filter off. That's interesting. Oh, there you go. Huh, cool. So yeah, so that's all the icons and all they do. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory what they do. The trade filters are a little bit more different because that actually covers what this is right here. So if I change this, look, there's nothing in there. So I can change it to containers, solid, liquid. You get rid of some, and it'll only tell you all the different things that you cover. You got your max price and your volume, which means how much stuff is actually for sale, not for sale. I'm going to put it back on containers here, and I'm going to show you something interesting. You can use this window. It's covered more in my semi-auto trading if you want to go check that out to find out how this is. But basically you can do buy orders and sell orders here. You have bought wares, which means wares that somebody wants to buy off from you or other traders, and you have sold wares, which means that's what like factories and stuff are selling that you can go buy. So that's the difference here. So obviously these are the low prices that you can find in the Galaxy, and these are the higher prices you can find in the Galaxy that for your stuff you want to sell. Interesting thing about this thing, it's pretty dynamic. You can kind of zoom in on something and it will cut everything out. See, now we're at 65 stations, but I zoom in, I'm covering 382 stations, so it's covering all the best of the 5 and the lowest of the 5 of that. You can also change that in the offers down here if you want less than 1 or 5 or whatever that. You can do that. And if you want to single out a particular thing like energy cells, you just kind of click on it, and now it'll only show you energy cells that you can kind of zoom around the world with. And it also pops up here. You can get rid of it like that. That little button here also works up here. So if you can't find what you're looking for, you can go to add wares, and you can kind of go through the list here. Say, oh look, we want to find ore. Well, it doesn't look like ore is doing very good in my Galaxy, but basically you get the gist of it. Kind of that's how you filter out that particular thing. Again, you can zoom in and you're only concentrating on one sector. You zoom out and you're concentrating on all the sectors. So that's how this works. Again, you can get rid of that window by going like that, and you can get rid of this window by going like that with that top filter settings. Now this is nice and clean and you can see stuff okay. Oh, and before I forget, this other little icon up here that says reset to top view, that's what it means. It resets to top view just like that. Why would you want to do that? Well, I didn't know if you knew this or not, if I actually told you this or not, but I probably just forgot. But now I'm remembering. If you take your right mouse key and you click on it, you can move your map around just like that. You can kind of look under it, and I don't know why you would have to look under it. I guess if you're weird, you can look under the map. I guess. Okay. So yeah, so if you kind of like, you can't figure out how to, put it back to looking above it because you're stuck looking under it, I guess you can hit this little button and it does it for you. So isn't that neat? All right. Woo! So let's move over here to the left. We got my name. For some reason I called myself Carl Malkuth the third. I don't know why I'm the third. I guess there was a second and a first at some point, but I don't know when that actually happened. You have a date here, and you have the money, all my gorgeous credits I got here. Over here you got the current sector that I'm personally in, and right here you have this thing called 101,836 credits due from trades. Now your number is obviously different, but all this represents is all your traders out there that are currently about to trade stuff, and that's the money that you're about to make once the trade is done. It includes all your traders out there, and if you have miners doing mining and they have a full thing of wonderful, glorious rocks that they're going to go sell, that's also included in there. All right, moving down, we have the object list. The object list lists everything you have, your own stations, which I don't own any, your own ships and other stations, and all that awesome stuff around the area. And it's the same. It works almost the same, I do believe, or not. Maybe it does. Let me see here. Yeah. So this is like the list of everything that you can see in the sector you're doing, all that stuff, and it kind of works the same way. The zoom in and zoom out, you can see different interesting stuff and all that. So we move down, we got the property owned. This just cuts everything down to what you own personally, so that's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to select stuff, you want to kind of zoom to your stuff, you can double click on it. Let me do this a little bit different. Okay, you can double click on it and it will go right to where it is, which he's right there. Kind of zoom in on him a little bit more. I can do that again over here. I'll double click and he'll go over here and check that out. Same with this guy over here. I can go like that. Oh, there he is. So if you want to get to your guys really quick to find out what they're doing, or you want to give them individual orders, that's how you do that. You got your stations, your fleets, everything will be in here that represents your own nation, faction, or whatever you want to call yourself. Here is all your mission offers. You got two tabs up here. It's your guild missions, which is here, and you have your other missions offers, which is from like other places or other stations, stuff like that. Usually that'll be covered in another tutorial if you care. Okay, mission manager just basically manages all the missions that you are currently offered. You can click on them and you can open the briefing, or you can set to active. You can do all that wonderful stuff, all the different things. Upkeep missions are probably for stations, guidance missions, they're all the different kinds of missions that you currently can do and you have. We move down a little bit more. You got the information window. The information window is nothing more than your currently selected ship's information, and you can go into the behavior and the information. And coincidentally, if you go back to your property owned and you select something and you right click, you can go to the information that way too. Plus you also have other things that you can do, like if you have I won't get into that because that'd be a spoiler, but basically you can do that later. If you can read, you can redesign your ship. That means you can actually change what you have for a paint thing, if you got any paint things or anything like that. So that's pretty cool, I guess. If that's what you're into. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, so that's the information. That's basically the same window. And last but not least is you manage your plots. Now this has absolutely nothing to do with well, actually it does. It basically, if you want to build stations, so this is like a whole nother tutorial on how to get into, but basically you have to buy plots to put your stations in. You have to kind of guess how big you want it. It's all this whole legal binding thing that the game came up with, and it's interesting, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, if you're wondering what that ever did, manage plots, that's for buying stations. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is Malkuth 1974. I hope that helps you with this map. By the way, if you double click on things, like if I click it like that and I click it again, it goes away. That means you just have the whole map ready to see and view and have a great looking time doing that stuff. So there you go, guys. Malkuth 1974 out of here.